first race of the Ginetta Junior Winter Series then set to get underway. It is a 20-minute race rather than a set number of laps. It's against the clock. Cars making their way to the one-by-one staggered grid. David Addison overlooking Woodcote. Quick check that up at Beckett's Alistair Douglas is all good to go for what should be a pretty dramatic race, Alistair.
Yes, absolutely. Always good, the Ginetta Juniors. And it was at this meeting last year, the Winter Series, that we first found Rocco Coronel, who proved to be the champion in the main series.
Yes, and the Ginetta Championship Awards were last weekend. Dad Tom was there in noisy fashion. Rocco's mum, Pauline Svart, used to race as well, so good racing family. We'll see who the next one is. Jarrett Clark on pole position, celebrating his 15th birthday today, and Jarrett Clark on pole with Lewis Goff lining up alongside. Third on the grid, Torin Byrne, and Noah Young starting fourth ahead of Colin Cronin and Revy Lake sixth. Seventh on the grid, Sebastian Leuch, and it is Harry Bartle who will round out the top eight ahead of Jesse Phillips and Josh Watts. Riley Cranham is on the sixth row alongside the Spanish driver Raul Zozaran, Jacob Ashcroft and Jamie Ambrose on the next row of the grid ahead of Henry Cameron and American driver Emma Scarborough to start 16th. 17th is Vladislav Tomenchuk ahead of Kai Veitch, then Luke Walton and Savo Solonchenko to round out the grid. It's a one-by-one staggered grid. They're all there, they're all present and correct, and they will get one final formation lap just to get a bit of warmth into the tyres once the grid is cleared. A little bit of concern possibly around number 13. I think it's not so much the car actually, it's tape onto the wall, so drivers wanting to know where they need to line up. Although they've got the grid markers in front of them, they can look to the right hand side and see the bit of sticky tape on the pit wall. They know exactly where to line up. Gate goes together, everybody's off the grid. So Jarrett Clark then, can he convert pole position on his 15th birthday into a race win? He has been rapid this past season within the Junior Championship with a couple of second places. They came in the Donington finale at the end of the year. Number 4, Lewis Goff, with him at the front of the grid. Torin Byrne starts third, having moved from karts into juniors at the back end of 2024, but father Sean used to be a very successful Caterham racer and Caterham champion. Fourth on the grid, number 95, Noah Young, another driver that's been in the Junior Championship, the National Championship, if you like, this season. Although his best result was only a 7th place, so we've not had him on the podium before. He might well be one to watch here. Fifth is Colin Cronin, number 75, who came into the Junior Championship back in 2024. Runner-up in the Winter Series that year, was a race winner in the main championship. This season was only a race runner-up. He finished 6th in the championship, in the main championship, the national championship, but wasn't a race winner. So Colin Cronin, under normal circumstances, you'd expect to be one to watch. And then you've got Revy Lake, whose father Stephen is the man behind the Mahiki British GT team. Best rookie, or best freshman, I should say, in the Junior Championship this year for drivers totally new to car racing. Revy Lake, one to watch, I think, from 6th on the grid. Road nice and dry now, and cars turning their way out of Beckett's Alistair down Wellington Straight.
Yes, behind the safety car, bringing them round, which I presume will peel into the pit lane, but a good grid of 20 cars going by, and no longer are they in the standard Ginetta colours of orange and black and white. We now get different colours like grey and black and green.
And sometimes Red Bull. We have had a couple of Red Bull.
Yes. Rocco Coronel was a Red Bull driver last year, wasn't he?
And Scott Lindblom. And it was suggested at the Ginetta Awards last weekend that there might be another Formula 1 link coming into junior racing next year. Ponder which team that might be, but Ginetta Juniors has continuously proved stars, whether they go into Formula 1 in the case of Lando Norris, or go on to have touring car success or sports car success. It's got a really, really impressive roster over the years, and it's positioned itself, even though it's no longer part of the touring car package, still as the Junior Championship, and perhaps hooking up in a GT paddock has been an even better move for it. So to the grid they come, and as soon as the last driver in place, which will be Sebo Solonchenko in the MDD car, is where he needs to be, we can get the green flag shown at the back. Drivers then will look towards the lights. It is going to be 20 minutes on the clock. So to get the first race of the weekend at the 25th anniversary of the Walter Hayes Trophy underway, Savo Solonchenko's car sort of lurches slightly into where it is meant to be, but the green flag shown at the back. We're all good to go then. 20 minutes on the clock. Drivers look towards the gantry. The Silverstone gantry has a 5-second board displayed first up. Then the lights in a moment should go red. They do. Engine notes will rise. The lights go out now. It is blast off. And the best start of all comes from the second row, I reckon. Torrin Byrne. Not a great start by the poleman, Jarrett Clark, but he is going to be able to hang on to the race lead as they dive down towards Copse Corner for the first time. So Jarrett Clark leads the way, but up into second place, the quick starting Torrin Byrne. They go through the right-hander and head up towards Maggots and then Beckett's for the first time.
Indeed they are, yes, and it is still the grey car of Jarrett Clark that leads, but right in behind him, as you say, Torrin Byrne after that very good start indeed. Colin Cronin, even better start perhaps from 5th up to 3rd. He's right behind, so it's those three leading, and then in 4th place is Lewis Goff, number 4 from the front row, so not such a good start for him. And then next up is Revy Lake, number 83 in 5th place. As they come under the bridge for the first time, they all, as always, fan out, trying to get the best line for Brooklands.
And it was briefly Torrin Byrne in the lead, but he's on the outside line diving down towards Brooklands. It's Jarrett Clark on the inside line who goes back through to take over the race lead. Colin Cronin in the yellow car right there in 3rd place as they come towards Luffield for the first time. In 4th place, trying to join the party, Lewis Goff, recovering after his not so brilliant start. So it's 4 for the lead as they come out of Luffield for the first time into Woodcote, with just at the head of the queue Jarrett Clark, the Anglo-Australian, ahead of Torrin Byrne in 2nd place. 3rd across the line is Cronin, 4th is Goff, and then 5th is everybody else pretty much, just about headed by number 73, which is Harry Bartle. He's made a bit of progress. It's one long line then as they descend upon Copse Corner. Bartle, it was just ahead of Revy Lake as they turn down through Copse Corner, but Clark, Byrne, Cronin, Goff, those 4 all arguing for the race lead.
Yes, it's 4 for the lead, and then a short gap before just about everybody else in 5th place. Into Beckett's they come, and up the inside goes Torrin Byrne to take the lead away from Jarrett Clark. Then it's Colin Cronin, and bringing up the rear of that 4-car battle is Lewis Goff, number 4, and then next up it looks as though it is Harry Bartle in 5th place.
I'd go along with that, and that second wave is still not quite with the leaders as Torrin Byrne led. Down the inside dives Jarrett Clark, goes through, goes wide, goes deep, and drops back to 3rd place. So up into the lead again goes Torrin Byrne into 2nd. It's the yellow car of Colin Cronin. 3rd then is Jarrett Clark, so he got the lead, but he couldn't slow the car down in time, drifted wide, and not only has that dropped him to 3rd, not only has it brought now Lewis Goff onto his tail, but I reckon Harry Bartle 5th is starting to creep away from the pack behind and close on the leading quartet. Down towards Copse Corner they go, with to the inside line Colin Cronin in the yellow car lining up for a look, if nothing else. Couldn't really commit to a move there, so it's still Torrin Byrne, number 18, in the lead. The yellow car 2nd is that of Colin Cronin. You've got Jarrett Clark 3rd, Lewis Goff 4th, and then Harry Bartle in 5th place, with Cronin then now, the yellow car. He's done the fastest lap of the race.
And from the back of that pack, Lewis Goff trying to go all the way around the outside at Beckett's, braked slightly later, but I think in the end he's going to be back in 4th place. They all go very, very wide indeed. I think, in fact, Lewis Goff actually touched the grass on the exit of Beckett's, but they're being caught now by Harry Bartle in 5th place. He's closing in on the leading 4.
He is indeed, and he's also shaken off that pack behind then as they come down towards Brooklands. Once again, it's Torrin Byrne in the race lead, but for 2nd, a big dive on the inside. Colin Cronin then trying to stay ahead of Jarrett Clark with Lewis Goff right there. They're side by side for 2nd at Luffield. On the inside is Clark, on the outside is Cronin. The inside of both of them now claimed by Goff. He's alongside Cronin, so out of all of this, he's going to take 3rd, and Cronin's going to get shuffled back to 5th, courtesy of Bartle. End of the lap, the leader is Torrin Byrne. 2nd across the line is Clark. 3rd is Goff. 4th is Bartle, 5th is Cronin. Bit of a gap back, and then in 6th place going through now is 83 of Revy Lake. 7th it is Josh Watts, and 8th is Noah Young as the leaders go round Copse Corner. But Torrin Byrne trying to break away perhaps now while they're all squabbling behind him.
No, he certainly is, but he's not able to do it, because going with him, in fact, on the inside at Maggots into Beckett's, it's the pole position car of Jarrett Clark who's managed to wriggle his way back up to 2nd, but he's being chased now by Lewis Goff. Then it's side by side for 4th and 5th places, with Colin Cronin getting back up into 4th. However, I think he'll lose it again to Harry Bartle because he's on the outside for Brooklands, but the leader's under the bridge already and fanning out to 3 abreast.
And that battle for 4th, as you say, Cronin and Bartle, they need to work together now to get back onto terms with the top three. So Torrin Byrne back down to third. It's Clark versus Goff now for the lead. It's Clark ahead as they come to Luffield, but Goff on the inside line has the tighter line for the corner and should be able to go through, which he does then. So coming out of Luffield, this is the end of lap number 4, and we've got 15 minutes still to go. New race leader, Lewis Goff then, with Jarrett Clark second and Torrin Byrne third, trying to get back through on the inside of Clark. He's alongside as they come over the timing line, then down towards Copse Corner. Bartle is still fourth, Cronin fifth. And we've had a spin for number 17, which is Luke Walton. The leaders dive down through Copse Corner with, this time around, Lewis Goff, then the race leader. Didn't make a great start, but he's up front now.
Yep, Lewis Goff it is who leads through into Maggots, onto the brakes for Beckett's. Coming up into second place on the inside has come Jarrett Clark. He was side by side with Torrin Byrne, but Byrne had to give best because he was on the outside for Beckett's. But these three have been caught now by the next two, which is Harry Bartle and Colin Cronin. So you say they had to work together. Well, they did, because they're back with them. We've got a yellow flag down
that's because you've got a car stranded in the road down at Brooklands, and I think it's just been pushed out of the way. It's the car of Luke Walton that had spun. Thankfully, it's just been moved in time as the leaders dive down towards Brooklands, so the road is clear, although you've got marshals working trackside, so no overtaking allowed. Everybody is slowed right down, and the safety car has been called as well. So the safety car called, and at least that way, everybody was assuredly going to slow right down, because under just a waved yellow sometimes liberties could be taken. So safety car deployed. It won't be long, I don't think, but what this does enable, of course, is that second wave to catch up to the leaders. So we have in the lead number 4 Lewis Goff, second in 55 Jarrett Clark, third number 18 Torrin Byrne, fourth his teammate 73 I should say, Harry Bartle, fifth number 75 Colin Cronin, and sixth now number 22 Josh Watts. The road is clear, so it should not take long to get things back underway. But safety car called just to make sure that everybody's slowed right down, and it will scoop them all up over at Maggots. In 7th place rather is 26 Jesse Phillips. In 8th place number 95 Noah Young. Down to 9th has dropped 83 of Revy Lake, and 10th is 46 of Jacob Ashcroft. Safety car with you.
Yeah, we've had another car retire up here, which has been dealt with straight away by the marshals, and it's number 54 Riley Cranham, I'm afraid, from R Racing, who's pulled up with a mechanical problem and has been pushed behind the barriers by the marshals, so that won't actually affect this safety car at all. Good work by the marshals there, but yeah, the whole pack now on its way down under the bridge. And I think even without the safety car, the 6th, 7th and 8th place cars were closing in on Cronin at the end of that lap, so I wonder whether we'd actually have had a battle with the top 8 anyway without the safety car.
Well, the battle is about to be renewed because the lights are out on top of the safety car, so it will peel in this time. And it is then Lewis Goff, who from a standing start wasn't mega. Now he's got to do it from a rolling start, if you like, to try and build that gap once again over Jarrett Clark. And now they all start to slow as they come behind the leader out of Luffield. And Lewis Goff now, as he gets to Woodcote, accelerates away, pulls the pin, and we're back racing there. The green flag will fly. So Lewis Goff leads from Jarrett Clark, but then in 3rd place, Torrin Byrne has dropped back a couple of lengths. Colin Cronin is still on the march to try to get himself back ahead of Harry Bartle, but Bartle drives a wide car. Cronin thought about the inside line into Copse, no way through there. So Harry Bartle with pretty sharp elbows keeps Cronin at bay. Race leader then is Goff. We've got just under 12 minutes to go.
It's Goff from Clark, and those two have actually broken away a little bit from 3rd place, which is a 3-car battle led at the moment by Torrin Byrne, number 18 in 3rd place. 4th is Harry Bartle, and 5th is Colin Cronin. Then, of course, the rest of the, well, not every car, but another 5 cars have joined the back of that group behind Colin Cronin. Make that 6 cars. So a big battle coming down under the bridge.
So here they come then once more, and the top 2 getting away now, it seems, from Torrin Byrne. So the Pace Performance twins, 3rd and 4th, not staying with the race leader. You've got up front then Jarrett Clark, number 55, but only just. So the R Racing 2 still in the order of Goff ahead of Clark. The next pair coming out of Pace Performance being given a hard time by Colin Cronin in the Elite Motorsport entry. Eddie Ives' team's best at the minute, only 5th, which is a surprise for normally one of the top teams. Leaders go through, and R Racing, the winning team in the National Championship this year, 2 cars split by just under 0.2 of a second, and that time around Jarrett Clark did the fastest lap of the race. So almost into the second half now. He's having another go back at Lewis Goff, but not darting left and right all the time, perhaps just working out where he might be stronger. Staying in the wheel tracks for now.
Yes, he certainly is, right in the wheel tracks as they come up to Beckett's, and the gap between second and third has closed down a little bit. So Torin Byrne is closing in on second place Jarrett Clark, and then in fourth place is Harry Bartels, then it's Colin Cronin as they go down the Wellington Straight once more. But those two leaders still have a useful gap between them and third place, and it's still Goff leading.
So as the race leaders again dive down towards Brooklands, it is still Goff leading. You're right, it's Jarrett Clark staying right up behind him, looking for a way by, and Byrne and Bartle behind, starting perhaps just to get a little bit nearer. If they work together, they've got a chance of doing that. As the leaders come by, still nose to tail. Yeah, I reckon that gap is coming down second to third. So Torin Byrne now edging a little bit nearer to Jarrett Clark, who drops a couple of lengths from Lewis Goff as they come over the line. Leaders through then, that now puts 8 laps in the book. Harry Bartle in fourth place has now done the fastest lap of the race. The leading 5 covered by a second and a half. Goff ahead of Clark, Byrne ahead of Bartle, Cronin ahead of Josh Watts in 6th place. He's almost with them as well, so that line is set to grow. Josh Watts has done a very good job here. He's wriggled his way through, quietly got on with the job from 10th on the grid as the leaders hit Beckett's.
Through Beckett's they go, and it's pretty much a 6-car battle for the lead now, because as you say, in 6th place Watts is closing in on Cronin. Cronin, having been very quick at the beginning of the race, doesn't seem to be able to challenge quite as frequently on Bartle as he did before, and as you say, Bartle's done the fastest lap of the race, so he's closing in on Torin Byrne.
As the leaders again drop down into Brooklands up towards Luffield, so yeah, Torin Byrne catching up onto the back of Clark. Bartle still trying to defend from the elite motorsport car Colin Cronin, who's got one brother that is a multiple British rally champion. He's got another that does Porsche racing, and as the leaders go through this time, it's back on for 3 for the lead, but Harry Bartle fourth has been dropped. So Torin Byrne, who did lead early on, having another go back at the top 2 as they drop down towards Copse Corner. So 3 for the race lead with just over 8 minutes to go. Lewis Goff hanging on in there, but now Torin Byrne looking as though he's going to give a really hard time to Jarrett Clark, possibly even at Beckett's.
Yeah, he's looking on the outside as they come up, which becomes the inside for Beckett's, and very, very good move there indeed from Torin Byrne. Takes away second place, although they're still side by side, but he will get that place as they exit Beckett's onto the Wellington Straight. So down into third goes Jarrett Clark. That's not what you want on your 15th birthday, is it? But leading is still Lewis Goff, who's probably got half an eye on the mirrors as to what's going on behind him.
Amazing what people do get for a 15th birthday these days. Electric sense, the real thing, isn't it, coming into Ginetta Junior Racing, as a change for fourth is imminent. Cronin dives up the inside of Bartle, goes through at Brooklands, gets the job nicely done. So Colin Cronin, who was a little bit higher up the order after that good start, now piecing it all together once again, and he's not out of the equation yet, is he, as far as the race lead battle is concerned. So as the race leader comes through now to complete lap 10, it is still Lewis Goff, but Torin Byrne looking ever more threatening. Byrne has now done the fastest lap of the race as he gets right into the wheel tracks down at Copse Corner. Third still is Jarrett Clark. In fourth place now is Colin Cronin. Harry Bartle is fifth. Josh Watts is sixth. We've got 7 minutes to go, but Byrne having another push.
Yes, he is, and Lewis Goff in the lead is staying to the middle of the track, trying to defend the inside line into Beckett's, and it works because he forced Torin Byrne to go around the outside, which was never going to work, but Byrne holds on and is very close behind, and close as well as Jarrett Clark, and of course the other two, Colin Cronin and Harry Bartle, are closing in on them. So we're back to a 5-car battle at the bottom of the Wellington Straight into Brooklands this time.
And Torin Byrne goes from the inside to the outside, tries to go all the way around the outside at Brooklands, which would be the inside at Luffield, but he can't stand his ground. He has to slot back in behind. Up towards Luffield they go, nose to tail, turn through the corner. It is still just Goff ahead with Torin Byrne in second spot. He'll know that the time is ticking down. He'll also be aware potentially that this leading battle is bunching up again. It's pretty much all 5 of them back together. So big deep breath. Goff leads, Byrne second, Clark third, Cronin fourth, fifth is Bartle as they come across the line. Josh Watts still in 6th place, not able to get any closer it seems to them, but with 6 minutes on the clock the race leaders dive down through Copse Corner and it is just Goff ahead, but Torin Byrne looking ever more threatening, and perhaps this time you might make a move.
He's looking for the inside, same as he did before, and also there is Jarrett Clark. He's gone for the outside of Torrin Byrne. Byrne tries to sneak through on the inside. There's a bit of a mistake there from Jarrett Clark. He gets a bit sideways. Oh, and Colin Cronin gets very sideways and takes 2 cars out, I'm afraid. Not damaged, but both of them spun. Colin Cronin knocked into Jarrett Clark, and also I think it was Torrin Byrne who got involved in that as well. All cars are running, there's no damage to them, it was just unfortunate.
It was Harry Bartle, I think, rather than Torrin Byrne. Same team, same livery, but Torrin Byrne had escaped. So what that's now given us is Lewis Goff with a bit of a margin, Torrin Byrne second, and then it's a very big gap and a very shuffled order for third. That's probably going to help Josh Watts, isn't it? There's also a fight now going on between Jesse Phillips and Noah Young. So at the end of the lap then, the race leader is Lewis Goff by quite a margin over Torrin Byrne in second place. It was 2/10, it's now 9/10 of a second. In third place, all of a sudden, is Josh Watts. In fourth place, Harry Bartle. Fifth is Noah Young. Sixth is Jesse Phillips. Revy Lake is seventh. Eighth is Jarrett Clark. Ninth now, Jacob Ashcroft. And in 10th place, it is number 11 of Henry Cameron, with Cronin only now coming over the line way back in 17th.
So Torrin Byrne really the only challenger now for the lead of Lewis Goff, and the gap is quite large, but what have we got left? 4.5 minutes or so. So there's an opportunity for him to try and close in third place through here, as you say, is Josh Watts, and then close behind Josh Watts is Harry Bartle. I think that all started with Jarrett Clark getting a bit out of shape, and I wonder whether perhaps Colin Cronin just backed off thinking that Clark was going to spin, and that put himself into a moment.
Possibly so. It all seems to be a bit, as you say, a bit sort of confused and a bit messy, but a sideways Cronin collecting cars as he went through, and it's rather badly compromised him. The only good thing is that it's not the result of this race that's the next grid. That's already based on qualifying time. So the leaders have gone through with 3.5 minutes plus still to go, and the margin is 9/10 of a second still between Goff and Byrne. Now that Lewis Goff has got away, I think he's broken that slipstream effect, hasn't he? Third is still Watts. Now Harry Bartle, fourth, is being given an exclamation mark next to his name. I haven't seen anything come up about a penalty, but I'm wondering whether he has got a track limit penalty, hence this exclamation mark. Fifth, it is Noah Young, and sixth, Jesse Phillips.
Leaders go through, and the gap between first and second is around about the same, so Lewis Goff doing a good job of holding off Torrin Byrne from being able to close in on him with just 3 minutes remaining, so 2 or 3 laps to go. The rest of the field going down the Wellington Straight. Colin Cronin, I can see there, has made up one place, I think, but he's a long way back.
Right, race leaders are heading through the stadium once more, but if anything, the fight now is on behind, where you've got number 95 of Noah Young in and amongst it. 83 also Revy Lake trying to gain back places. 2.5 minutes on the clock, but although, as we said at the time, it wasn't a great start by Lewis Goff, he's been able to rebuild this race, and he's getting away all the while now from Torrin Byrne. Through they turn over the line, so the margin that was 9/10 is now 1.4. Third is still Watts, fourth is Bartle. Those two are battling amongst themselves, but with this penalty for Harry Bartle, he's going to drop back. Noah Young is fifth, Jesse Phillips is sixth. Now Jarrett Clark recovering after his dramas, he's in 7th place, but not the result he wanted. 2 minutes to go. We're on lap 15, Alistair.
Yes, we are. Just trying to access the information on that penalty. I'll be there in a moment. But we've got the leaders here, so let's talk about that. We've got still got Lewis Goff leading from Torrin Byrne in 2nd place. 4 cars come through Beckett's in 3rd place. One of them goes wide onto the grass. That was, I think, the Harry Bartle possibly who got very wide there. But anyway, they've made their way down. Nobody had a spin this time.
We have got them 3 wide, a little bit further back coming down to Brooklyn, so let's see whether they all can survive this. One of them is Josh Watts, another in the thick of all of this is Revy Lake. I think Jarrett Clark is in there as well, trying to get up the order, so there's an awful lot still going on as the leader comes through, breaks the beam with about 1 minute and 17 seconds on the clock. 2 more laps there is time for, as further back number 95 Noah Young goes through, possibly to get ahead again of Jarrett Clark as they trade places all the way down towards Copse Corner. So going now through the right-hander, it is still Goff in the lead now. The gap 1.7 seconds.
and being maintained up at this side of the circuit as they go through. In fact, I think they're both pulling away from third place, so a very good drive indeed. They do take an extremely wide line through Beckett's. That seems to be the line that everybody takes way out across the white lines on the outside of the circuit. They don't seem to get penalised for that. In third place is Josh Watts, and then in fourth place is Noah Young, number 95, who's been a bit anonymous, hasn't he, from the second row, but there he is in fourth place.
Right, so the race leaders then coming now down through Brooklands once again. They're going to start the last lap this time, and the race leader Lewis Goff to come through, still side by side further back. Josh Watts versus Noah Young for third place. A little bit of hip and shoulder there, which forces Young very wide with two wheels in the gravel. Leaders go through then. Goff in is ahead, and that margin now 1.7 seconds over Torin Byrne as they go down through Copse Corner, heading up towards you for the last time. And Lewis Goff now has really been able to get away, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He's maintained that gap and actually slightly extended it. It's a 5-second penalty for Harry Bartle, by the way, for track limits. There are 4 track limits penalties. He's the one nearest the front. The leaders come through Beckett's for the last time. The time ticks down to 0, and through goes Lewis Goff. Good race from Lewis. He's been there or thereabouts the whole race. And in second place, Torin Byrne. And then next up, it's still a very close battle indeed, with just in third place is 22 Josh Watts, but he's under extreme pressure now from 26 Jess Phillips.
That's another driver that's gone well, isn't it? Jesse Phillips up from 9th on the grid. I know the safety car and the dramas have helped a bit, but having chipped up the order. So Torin Byrne, I think, with a problem because he's just dropped further and further back as the race has worn on. But Lewis Goff qualified second, and he's about to come through and score a victory then. Lewis Goff heading up towards the timing line. He had a best of a 5th in the National Championship, so a first race win for Lewis Goff, who comes across the line to win round 1 of the Ginetta Junior Winter Series from, in second place, Torin Byrne. And it's going to be a real drag race to the line, because to take the checkered flag third on the road was Harry Bartle, but on corrected times Jesse Phillips takes third, 4th Josh Watts, 5th Noah Young, 6th Jarrett Clark, 7th Revy Lake, 8th Jacob Ashcroft, and 9th Harry Bartle. So a huge wave of cars all arrived on block, and with the 5-second penalty then it caused Harry Bartle to go tumbling down the order. So very dramatic finish for the last place on the notional podium, but a really good drive that by Lewis Goff. Once he'd established himself in the lead, there was really no touching him, was there? And Torin Byrne falling further and further back as the race wore on.
Yes, it all started off very close indeed, but once we had that moment for Colin Cronin, which split the pack up, it seems like Goff found another gear, didn't he, and just drove away, although he didn't get the fastest lap of the race.
No, you're right. That went early on to Torin Byrne, who I thought was, looking pretty strong, but it never quite clicked for him, did it, towards the end? And I don't think he got caught up in those dramas at Beckett, so whether you can't put the lack of pace down to any damage, we'll find out in a moment whether there was an issue, because hopefully our winning drivers will be stopped underneath the podium, and Ian Titchmarsh can have a word with Lewis Goff, the race winner, Torin Byrne for second place, and Jesse Phillips for third. Right, Lewis Goff comes down the pit lane and nobody stops him, so that's a great start, isn't it? Thanks very much. So the winning drivers go down to Park Fairmay, by the look of it. So it might take a while to generate a word with our winners. Colin Cronin also never really got going again, did he, after the incident up at Beckett's? 15th he was. So a win for number 4, Lewis Goff, from number 18 of Torin Byrne, and third, number 26, Jesse Phillips, 4th, 22, Josh Watts, 5th, number 95, Noah Young, and 6th, 55 of Jarrett Clark. 7th, it was 83, Revy Lake. In 8th place, 46, Jacob Ashcroft. 9th, number 73, Harry Bartle. And 10th went the way of number 11, Henry Cameron. 11th to 36, Sebastian Leusch, ahead of number 5, Emma Scarborough. In 13th place, number 67, which was Vlad Tomenchuk, ahead of the recovering Colin Cronin, and then it was Jamie Ambrose to round out the top 15. Kai Weich was 16th, ahead of Raul Zunzeren, and the last finisher, Solochenko. Ian. Or not, as the case may be.
David.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, David. Apparently, they've decided to do the Ginettas at Copse Corner. So Paul and I are now strolling down there as quickly as we can.
Right.
And sometime next week, we may eventually be able to have a word with the top three. I've forgotten who they are by then.
Yes. Lewis Goff, you want as a winner. Torrin Byrne as second. And in the end, Jess Phillips.
Jess Phillips. It wasn't Danny's lad.
No. Done on the line by 100th of a second, side by side.
That's not a loss, is it? That was a Silverstone type finish, if ever there was one.
It was indeed.
Right, we're still making our way. We'll get there, and they'll all have gone home or gone for lunch. It is lunchtime now, isn't it, David?
It is. They might have homework to do because half-term finishes on Sunday night.
Right, so...
Or as good racing drivers now, they'll have to go and look at data, won't they, for the second race to come later on in the day.
I presume they're doing it down there because that's where the scrutineering bay is.
I assume so.
And they need to, or Park Fairmate, or whatever you want to call it. So we'll get there, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able... It's a mile long, this pit lane, isn't it? I used to think nothing of it, but...
This wasn't quite in the plan, was it? No.
It wasn't part of the plan, no.
Right, well, as you're strolling and thinking, well, at least it's dry, at least it's sunny, let me just quickly make the point that this is the final race before lunch. So the next race will be round about 12:18, very precise timetable, and that's Heat 1 for the Walter Hayes Trophy. We have the 4 heats, followed by the Alpha Intermark race, then the second Ginetta Junior race, and the 2 pre-finals to round out the afternoon. So once we've heard from our Ginetta drivers, or we've heard some heavy breathing.
Well, is that what you can hear?
No, not quite, but
not
you're
yet.
not to the end of the pit lane yet. So I'm building up the tension.
We're getting ever closer.
Right.
But it's still a 50-yard dash.
Once we've heard from them, we will be into the lunch break, and the Ginettas will be back later on in the afternoon for more drama. Now, hopefully we can also persuade them to come away from their cars towards where the actual radio mic signal.
Well, that's another point. You can still hear me at the moment. We're nearly there. Suspense is killing me. Right. Well, of course, now they're all muddled up. So getting the top three. So who was third, David?
26, Jess Phillips.
Jess Phillips?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we need them pointed out to us now. Forgive us for not recognising them because they are all very new to the racing. Paul, I'm following you. In the vain hope, not vain I think, the justifiable hope that you can give us the winners.